Alrighty, guys, welcome to this video. So I have my beautiful mother here, my mom. For privacy purposes, I'm not going to disclose her name, but she's my only mother. She is the center of our universe, even though I don't always behave like it and act like it. So I'm sorry for that, mom. But I want to record this YouTube video because currently I'm in a phase in my journey where I'm in the boring phase, where there's not a lot of movement. Momentum there is, but it's like I'm just doing the same things every day, and I just have to show up and get it done and be consistent. There's nothing really inherently hard about it. And I feel like a big sacrifice that I've made, not only just in not going out and partying and all that stupid shit, is that I miss out on a lot of the little mini moments with my mom, with my father, even certain family members, even like nieces and nephews, because I know of the long term trajectory. And I think that our relationship has taken a hit because of that. But I'm very certain in the future that I know what we're doing now and the challenges we're having are worth it. But as an entrepreneur, I'm going through the boring phase. I have the business, I've made a little bit of money. I haven't made a ton of money yet, but I got to show up every day, post content, do the outreach, put in the work, follow up, stay organized, not fall into the trap of building more things when I've already built everything. That's what it's like from my side. And it's that little boring phase where all the entrepreneurs quit, they all fall off. But if you can get past that and then really start to see the results, that's when you can take off. And that's where I know we're headed. But again, I want to know from your perspective what it's just been like living with me in a way. Me saying, no, mom, like I'm going to win. I got this. I'm going to speak on stage in front of 50,000 people one day. What's kind of going through in your mind on your side of the table and kind of just express yourself.
Well, I admire your tenacity in doing this entrepreneurship. I feel it's some good start for you. As far as doing a job, that's what I do every day. I go to work every day. You do the same thing every day, except I see different patients every day. It's part of the job. That's what you have to do. Sure, it's the run of the mill. It's Monday, but it needs to be done because it pays the bills.
Right.
So sometimes you just, even when you don't want to go to work, you still have to show up. There's no sick days. There's no mental health days, so to speak. You have to just keep plugging along. And at the end, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep at it. If it's especially something you truly believe in.
Well, I know as a mother, you said to me times where I'll either be on calls or I'll be, being on the phone and people aren't picking up. And I remember this one time you walked in while I was dialing people to set appointments for the closers. And you walked in and you said, "You look miserable. Are you sure you're happy? Are you sure you're not depressed?" And I remember I looked back at you and I got mad that you would ask me that. And I get from an entrepreneur's perspective, from my perspective, it's like it's not about having fun. It's not about being happy. It's about just getting the work done, right? And getting it done and getting the experience, getting the skills. But I know that you don't have that same mindset in that moment, right? You're not in my position, but you're the one looking at it from the mother's perspective, the caregiver, the provider's perspective. So what goes through your head in the moment when you have a son as an entrepreneur where like logically I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm doing the right things. You want to see me succeed, but you still have your own mother roles and genes where it's like, oh, I want him to be happy. How do you manage that battle in between? Like, how do I motivate him, support him versus like, how do I make sure he's not wasting his life, and not just doing something that there's real no value in or no future? How do you balance those things from your perspective?
It's hard to balance because I want you to be happy, but you have to be truthful in what you're doing and you have to be happy with what you're doing. But there's also that phrase that says, you work hard, you have to play hard. And I just feel like you're so focused into it that you're missing out on family time. You're missing out on doing things. And every time I ask you to do something or go somewhere, it's you never have time for me.
Mm.
And the years are just going to pass by and you're getting older. And I want you to be happy. And I
23 down.
you know
Some people think I'm older, but I'm 23.
that I want you to enjoy life. I'm not saying you have to be on the run every single day, but it would be nice just to have some time with you to laugh and joke around and, just spend some time together. But it just seems like we're losing that connection.
So what? So let me ask you this. I feel like most kids now, they would be in a period of time where, like, for example, right, the kids I went to high school with, almost all of them graduated like last year. So whether they have a degree, they do what they're doing. Awesome. Some of them are kind of in limbo, finding a job. Others are successful in a career already. they have the college debt, they graduated the degree. Some are probably very close to getting married at some point, which I know is something you're always preaching to me. Find a girl, get married, right? All that stuff. But at the same time, I feel like they still maybe have their freedom that they've achieved, but they have a limits. They have boundaries on that freedom, right?
Mm.
So not necessarily, especially this earlier in their career, or really at any stage in their career, most careers don't allow you to say, "Hey, mom, let's go to Italy for a month," right? They won't really be able to have that bandwidth. They won't be able to have that freedom and that flexibility to pick up, go wherever they need to do, and really make not just moments, but magical moments, right? Almost like real life movies in a way. So I feel like in a way, by saying no to the parties and saying no to helping you with this or doing dinner or watching a movie, as much as a big part of me wants to do that, I know I need to get back to work. I know I need to do other things that way there in 2, 3 years from now, I could say, "Mom, like, let's just go travel Europe together for 6 months. I do my thing for the first 5, 6 hours of the day. You go out, make some friends, do what you got to do, and then let's hang for 4 or 5 days out of the week for the latter." I could see the smile on your face already.
Yeah, but you don't know what other people's life is gonna bring them. What if they can do that?
True, but I'm talking about as far as something that I would want to have in the moments I'd want to create with you. 90% of people that work any kind of job, even like a VP high level, he can't really just pick up and throw down at any time, any place, and still make a very, I don't want to say large, but a very luxurious amount of money, talking anywhere from 4 to 5 to 6 figures every month and doing something they genuinely enjoy. 90% of people in careers can't do that. They may have the ability to be impactful, maybe travel like one of our relatives does, but he's still kind of confined by rules that aren't his rules. I want to break out of that, right? That's why I have my own business, my own contracts, my own rules, my own boundaries. So I want to sacrifice these little moments in between that I know mean everything to you, like I was telling you earlier, to really experience and be there for the moments that I tend to think will matter more. When I'm a bit older, I have more life experience, I'm more mature because we're always maturing as years go on. And then hopefully we have more better moments then than the little normal ones that we have now. I just know that your response to that is, well, then how do we know those times are coming, right? How can I be certain that I would say no now to say yes later? So just like, what's your overall feelings on that type of situation? I know that.
Although you have to live every day, like they say, is if it's your last.
Mhm.
And I feel that you're missing out on these times because we don't know what's gonna happen. We're here today, we might not be here tomorrow. And the other thing is that you're missing out on friendships and relationships now because people might not be willing to be around when you're ready. They have their own lives, they have their own families, they have their own dreams and aspirations that they want to uphold as well for it. So you have to make time for what's important now too. I know it's hard to balance everything. It's hard for me to balance. It's hard to balance work, family, relationships, responsibilities that have to be met. It's a lot. It's a lot on a mom's shoulder to make sure that her family is safe, to make sure that they're well kept, that they're fed, that, things are being paid accordingly. A mom is always going to worry, no matter how old you are or how many kids you have.
And I want to bring up a point as well that I know kind of hurt you pretty bad last year. For the people in the audience, I did share with them that last year, dad had a stroke that kind of took quite a bit of a toll on him. And that was on July 1st. So the whole second half of the year, really. One of the things that you told me was that when we went through it together as a family, I wasn't really there for you much, and I didn't really have a job at all that whole time. I was really doing anything and everything I could do to make ends meet. I wasn't charging crazy things on credit cards, but whether it was borrowing from Bobby to pay James, whatever it was, to do something like that. Um, and then I had like a job for like 2 days and got fired from that, and then tried something else that didn't work. I know that the income wasn't there, but I was still showing up every day for the business, right? Putting the work in there, doing what I needed to be doing, take care of dad during recovery. I know that time wasn't easy for you, but I feel like so many parents want their kids to have jobs and everything. But what's it like in your mind actually seeing somebody work on something that really you have no idea? Like I've shown you how my business works. You've seen client results, all that,
Mhm.
but you haven't necessarily, when I'm building it from, little idea into actual full scale, whatever it may be. Like, what do you think while that's actually happening versus me not having a job? Like, what was your mindset during that time? If you can kind of give like a window or a peek into your world. Like what did I make you feel like at that time, or what did you think about what I was doing at that time? Was it the same business then as it is now? Now it's just in a different place, obviously.
It was difficult, I felt alone. I was the only one working every day. I'm pulling my weight, making appointments for your father, holding it all together. It was difficult for me when you're in your world doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
It was hard, and it's still hard now. It's just you're supposed to, a child is you're an adult, you're not a child is supposed to step up and take the reins of the family. And it's great that you're starting your own that you have your own business. It's wonderful. Like I said before, I admire that for you. I'd aspire that for you. But we don't know what life is going to bring. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. What if I become an invalid and I can't work?
But mom, can you live in fear like that?
No, you shouldn't live in fear. You shouldn't
Because
live
we all
in
have
fear.
fear,
No,
but how do you react to it?
you should not live in fear, but you need to have things set in place. You need to have income set aside if something happens. You need to have income put away.
Right, that's like perfect world scenario. That's what you
It
should.
is a perfect world. That is a perfect world, but sometimes it doesn't happen.
Right,
But they say that whatever you make, 10% of it should be put away,
right.
and not to be touched. It should be put in an account where it's locked and not to be touched. Even though if you're tempted, you know it can't
So
be
let me
touched.
so let me let me tell you this, mom. For you guys watching, that time she was just describing where my father and for the 1st of July, he had a stroke, kind of in between like hospitals and rehab for a few weeks. Then finally got home closer to like the August time period. I turned 23 in August, so it was just crazy. Again, I didn't have a job. I wasn't really supporting the household in any sort of way financially. And and I'm still kind of going through that phase now, but specifically in the latter half of last year that was showing up every day, doing hundreds of messages of outreach, no money to put in ads, creating content, posting once, twice a day for months on end consistently with no results, nothing, not even people responding to his CTA, like crazy shit. And just seeing just nothing, no results. And there's nothing hard about it. It's just the ability to show up and keep going and keep going and keep going without seeing any kind of financial return. I always saw progress along the way, and that's what kept me going. But it was just not seeing any financial return, which is really why we got into business in the first place. Businesses are supposed to make money. It's just to get to that point, there's a lot of prerequisites and sacrifice that's required. But that's 6 months. Literally, like close into the Christmas time, I had one of my first paying clients who paid in full, and that was a big turning point for me. But before then, and to a certain degree now, I'm still in that phase where it's just like get up, show out, perform, repeat, right? And take care of your health in the process. And if you're going through that phase, just realize we all have it hard. Like we all have our own difficulties, whether it's, you're on a friend's couch, whether it's you don't have a parent in your life, whether it's your family member had a stroke and now you're not even supporting that family and there's more turmoil because of that, whether you've had to sell belongings of yours, whatever it is, you're going to go through the hardship and there's going to be more levels to come where it's going to get harder, but you become more equipped as you move up. You have more lessons, more resources, more knowledge, etc. And this hard, boring phase, it's the startup. It is the barrier to entry to get to where you want to go. And I'm making this video with my mom so she can express what it's like from a mom's perspective, but also just as a lesson reminder not to give up, but just in plain simple terms, just keep fucking going. And you will never lose unless you really just absolutely throw in the flag. You can take breaks, you can be set back, but if you keep showing up and you keep putting one foot in front of the other, the world really is yours. So I wanted to share that message with you guys. Mom, it's a pleasure having you.
Thanks.
I hope you guys got a little bit window into what it's like with mom. Um, I have a great relationship with her, but there's a lot of problems in it, and a lot of that has come from entrepreneurship. It is not all sunshine and roses, even though it appears to be, and the media will do that. But it's worth it. And again, you win if you never give up. So appreciate you guys, and thank you for hopping on, mom.
Thank you.